Typhoon Noul struck Guangdong Province on July 26, bringing widespread destruction across southern China as powerful winds and days of torrential rainfall triggered severe flooding in multiple regions. Although the system weakened after moving inland, its broad circulation continued to draw in large amounts of moisture, creating prolonged periods of heavy rain across Guangdong and surrounding areas. The danger quickly shifted from strong winds to extreme rainfall, overflowing rivers, flash floods, and the threat of secondary disasters in vulnerable communities. Guangdong became the center of the storm's impact, with numerous cities, towns, and rural villages struggling against rising water levels. Continuous downpours overwhelmed drainage systems, causing widespread urban flooding in some areas, while rural communities faced more serious problems as rivers and streams exceeded their normal levels. Several cities and counties, including Shenzhen, Huizhou, Shanwei, and Meizhou, reported significant weather impacts. Roads were covered by floodwater, vehicles became stranded, and some areas experienced disruptions to electricity, transportation, and daily activities. Emergency crews were dispatched to affected locations as authorities worked to reduce risks and protect residents. In Meizhou, eastern Guangdong, the situation became particularly serious after hours of relentless rainfall caused rivers and smaller waterways to rise quickly. Floodwaters spread into several towns and villages, covering streets, farmland, and residential areas. Some communities saw water levels rise rapidly, forcing residents to move to safer locations as rescue teams carried out emergency assistance. Local roads in parts of Meizhou were submerged, making travel difficult and preventing some residents from leaving affected areas without assistance. Emergency workers used specialized vehicles and rescue equipment to reach flooded communities, help stranded residents, and transport essential supplies to areas affected by the disaster. Across Guangdong, multiple villages were affected after rivers overflowed following continuous heavy rainfall. In some locations, floodwaters entered homes, shops, and agricultural areas, damaging property and disrupting normal life. Fields that had been ready for harvest were inundated, while local roads connecting villages were temporarily blocked by rising water. The flooding also affected communities located near rivers and low-lying areas, where residents faced increasing risks as water levels continued to climb. Some villagers reported rapidly changing conditions as heavy rain continued, prompting authorities to carry out precautionary evacuations and move vulnerable residents to temporary shelters. Authorities increased inspections of rivers, reservoirs and flood control facilities as rainfall continued. Officials warned that the combination of saturated soil, swollen waterways and additional rainfall could increase the possibility of flash floods, landslides and mudslides, especially in mountainous regions and areas near rivers.
就半个小时没有看就冲上来了，我操！哇，全部都冲上来了，对面那全部冲掉了。 太牛了！
The severe weather also created major challenges for transportation. Some railway services in Guangdong were suspended or adjusted due to safety concerns, while flooding forced temporary restrictions on several roads and highways. Aviation and maritime operations were also affected as authorities implemented safety measures to protect passengers and workers. The impact of the storm extended beyond Guangdong, with heavy rainfall spreading into neighboring provinces including Fujian, Jiangxi and Hunan. In some mountainous areas, the continued rain increased the risk of geological disasters, including landslides and sudden flooding along small rivers and streams. Weather and water management authorities continued monitoring the situation closely, with emergency teams tracking river levels, rainfall patterns and potential hazards across affected regions. Officials warned that saturated ground conditions and swollen waterways could increase the risk of further flooding, landslides and other secondary disasters if additional rainfall occurs. As cleanup and recovery operations move forward, rescue teams remain deployed in the hardest-hit areas to assist residents, restore damaged infrastructure and support communities affected by the flooding.